Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and today I have another vlog for you. We are going to do a little art journaling, and I'm going to tell you all about my stay here in France. So you might notice that I am shooting in this lovely garden. Chris and I are staying just 45 minutes outside of Paris in this sweet little village. It's something like out of a dream, and we are just loving it. I thought I would shoot out in the garden today so that you guys can see it, but also because it might be winter to the people of France, but to this Canadian girl, it is spring. There are crocuses coming up, the grass is green, I can be outside without, 10 layers of clothing, so it's pretty cool. So what I want to talk about today in my second vlog is a little bit about how Chris and I love to travel, what traveling we've done, not just our traveling story, but I really want to be honest about sort of the ups and downs of what it means to live this sort of nomadic life. And I just felt like I could really open up to you guys because last month when I did my first vlog, I tried my best to be honest about how we make money on YouTube, and you guys were so great and the response was really sweet. We're really proud of the fact that we haven't directly monetized our audience, that we're focused on free content, 2 videos a week now, and of course we offer the bonus content on Patreon every Friday. That is $2, but we're keeping it as close to free as we possibly can. We want the corporations to pay and you guys to get free content. So thank you for your response. And today I'm going to try to tell you a little bit about our life and what we love about traveling and what we struggle with. So let's get started. Also, I am going to be journaling, and you might notice that I have a different journal. Now, I liked the Leuk term, but I just felt it wasn't right for my art journal. The pages were too thin. I have basically a $5 little sketchbook, nice toothy pages. I can do mixed media. It's gonna work a lot better for me. Okay, let's get into it. So what I want to draw today in my journal is just a really simple illustration of Chris and I. I am going to do a more France or Paris-based illustration, and that'll come up later this month once we've explored the city a little bit more. So today I'm just kind of doing a cartoon. I've never done people on the channel, so we are going to try that today. I'm starting in pencil, then I'll go over it in pen. So let's talk a little about drawing people. You just want to start with a head and use a shape for your head. Guys, it's always fun to do rectangles, girls maybe circles, ovals, or heart shapes. Eyes can just be as simple as little dots, maybe 2 little dots for the nostrils, a line for the mouth. Keep it simple and graphic. Then when you're doing the body, start with a little rectangle for the body so that you don't weirdly put the arms too close to the head. That's a good trick. Legs can just be 2 little lines. I always do these little lumpy feet. Simple, simple, simple. So as I'm drawing, I thought it would be kind of fun to tell you guys a little story. It's about art and design and illustration, and it's also weirdly about French. So there you go. So when I was in grade 3, I had to do a project in my French class. We take French in Canada in school, and French was always really hard for me. I struggle with languages, but I do try. And anyway, we had to write a book, a little book, a picture book with all of our illustrations and a story in French. Well, I've been a procrastinator since birth, and I remain a procrastinator to this day. And so, of course, I left the project until the very last minute. I had to do it all the night before, and I didn't know how I could create, 12 pencil crayon illustrations in one evening. But then I had a thought. I realized I could make a really graphic and beautiful book by just doing the illustrations in pen, keeping them really simple, all black pen, and having a character that was a stick figure and just coloring in my character. So I had this little girl, she had blonde hair and a pink dress, and everything else was graphic pen illustration, 8-year-old pen and ink illustrations. And anyways, I did the book, I got it done, and a few days later, my teacher loved it so much that she held it up in front of the class and she was like, look at these illustrations, this is great design. She'd obviously never seen a children's book that implemented that type of design idea. I, of course, probably had, that's how I thought of it. And anyway, I felt really bad because I had just sort of done it really quickly, but it just goes to show good design can really elevate a problem or a project or a problem. And I am always all about making something out of nothing, doing more with less, thrift, simple, good design. It's just what I'm all about, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the Valentine's card is a great example of that. If you haven't seen that tutorial, it's just these simple little illustrations, a bit of watercolor, and you get a graphic card that's so beautiful and fun to give. So check that video out if you haven't already. So let's talk a little bit about France. We are staying just 45 minutes outside of the city, and we're staying on this old, I guess it's an old farm. The buildings are 200 or 300 years old. Our hosts, our Airbnb hosts, live in the main house, and then we are staying probably where the servants used to live, or maybe where the animals resided, in the sweetest little cottage. And it has this gorgeous walled garden, and it's pretty much just like being in a dream. And we have a pass, we can go into the city on the train whenever. So we're just now beginning to explore Paris a little bit, and I'll have lots more to say about that later, I'm sure. For now, what I'm really amazed by is, of course, the food. The butter tastes so good here. The butter is so good. And the bread, the baguettes, and the tartelette du citron. Tartelette au citron. I'm loving those. And today, actually this afternoon, we're gonna go into Paris and we're just gonna wander about. And then next week we are doing the Louvre, and we're just loving it. And we're practicing our French as best we can, and we have found the French people to be really accommodating with us and really friendly as well, and helpful when we don't know how to punch our train tickets and all that kind of stuff. And we're just loving being here. We're here for just over a month. We're here to work a little and, travel and enjoy the country a little. I'm finishing my book right now. If you don't know, I'm writing a book about watercolor and illustration. I'm in the home stretch of that, so I'm here to work on that a little bit. And of course, we're filming YouTube videos, and we are just living our best life. So we are really loving our time here, and I want to talk a bit about our travel philosophy and our travel experience. We love to move around. Chris and I both love to move, and we're always sort of on to the next thing. And that has been really great for us in our marriage and our relationship. We're always sort of having fun, but the process of traveling around can be really difficult. And I think that's something that you don't always expect when you begin that process. Everyone is so encouraging. A lot of people will say, I always wanted to do that and I never did, or I did do that in my youth and it was the most amazing experience. But then when you're actually out on the road, it really can feel like you're constantly going against the grain. It's not that people don't want you to move from province to province and travel, but the whole system is not set up for anyone to do that. The system is set up for people to live somewhere and work there and stay there for a while. Now, of course, right now we have our permanent home in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and we're just traveling for 5 weeks. But a few years ago, we were actually on the road without a permanent address for 2.5 years. That's when we did Alberta, Lake Louise, and Iceland, and Prince Edward Island for the very first time. And at that point, everything can just feel a little difficult. What if your license runs out? Well, what's your permanent address, and where are you staying, and where are you even receiving mail, and can you get the mail before you're on to the next place? And the bank always wants to update your address. Well, this paycheck's not from the province where you are listed as living, and you're just like, well, but I'm leaving in a month anyway. Anyway, it gets a bit abrasive, and it can make you feel like you're trying specifically to push against society when that's really not what you're trying to do. So that can cause some stress and anxiety, but of course it's also so worth it. So traveling is both wonderful and stressful, as anyone who has ever traveled will tell you. And I think lately what I've been feeling, and something that I've really been kind of mulling over because I feel it's a lesson that I've been learning over the last few years as an adult, is that every time you choose something, there's 10 things that you're not choosing. And that reality has just been hitting me more and more. I think as I get older, and for everything we do, there's things we're missing out on, and because we're choosing to travel and be a little nomadic, we're not choosing to get a mortgage and buy a house. We're not choosing to have kids. And it's not that we couldn't do those, but it might be a little beyond us. And I think sometimes it just feels like as much fun as we are having, sometimes lately I feel kind of like I'm looking in the window at everyone else having kids and having a home and building community. And yeah, it's not to say that I'm not enjoying what we're doing, because I really am, but it's just that feeling of you really can't do it all. So I guess that's just my musings about traveling. I hope it doesn't come off as too pouty. We're very blessed to be able to do this, but it's just how I've kind of been feeling lately. It's, you want to think that you can do it all, but you really can't, but you can do a lot. Anyways, thank you guys for watching today. I love doing this art journaling together, and we can open up to each other. And please comment below, let me know your experiences with travel, with France, with art journaling, all of it. And I will see you soon with a new video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.